Hello everybody, welcome to marklangfan.com, where we make Israeli security so easy even a caveman can understand. Now, in all of our discussions, I've been showing why the West Bank is important for Israeli security, and for instance, they could fire chemical katyushas into the Tel Aviv-Netanya corridor, where there's 70% of Israel's population and 80% industrial base. And everybody should be asking themselves, well, wait a sec, why is this important to the United States? I understand that it might be bad for Jews if Jews are killed, but what does that have to do with America? Or, to really put it clearly, what is Israel's value to America? And there are really two lies that are being propagated that say Israel is not important for America's security. In fact, they're saying Israel causes instability in the Middle East, as well as Israel causes high gas prices. And so, in the United States. And so what I want to do today is I want to debunk those two theories. And I'm going to do it in two segments. The first segment I'm going to call Eastern Theater, which I will explain in a minute. And then there's going to be another TV segment called Western Theater. But today's the Eastern Theater. And so I want everyone first to remember that without the West Bank, Israel could be easily destroyed by chemical Katyusha rockets, as well as a gazillion other things. But what I want to do is I want to show a graphic that again is on my website, and I call this Eastern Theater. And basically what this graphic shows is it shows Israel with the West Bank and Golan, and what would happen without the West Bank and Golan. Now we know all that, okay? So what I'm going to do is this lower part of the graphic I have blown up so that it is nice and big, because this is really the most important graphic there is, in that this is where the countries are. You have Syria up here, Egypt over here, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Iraq. And I ask a simple question. What would happen if Israel were to be destroyed? What would happen? Would there be peace in the world? Would there be lower gas prices? Would there be more stability? Well, let's walk through it. If Israel were to be destroyed, would you ever have a Palestinian state? Well, do you have an independent state in Lebanon today? Absolutely not. You have an occupied Lebanon. It's occupied by Iran and Syria. If Israel were to be destroyed, would you have an independent Palestinian state? No. You would have a humanitarian catastrophe, 6 million Jews dead. And what would happen? Syria/Lebanon would get a little bit bigger, and Egypt would get a little bit bigger. They would both run for Jerusalem, Al-Quds, to plant the flag on the Temple Mount. That's all that would happen. You're just a little bit of a bigger Egypt. Next, Jordan. So that's the first domino. First domino is Israel. Second domino. If Israel is not there to protect Jordan, how long does Jordan have? Well, you should say to yourself, how long does Jordan have even if Israel's protecting it? Not very long. So, next, the second domino would be Jordan. Syria would get a little bit bigger, and Egypt would get a little bit bigger. Now look, everybody. Look what's just happened. Egypt, that has 80 million starving people with a per capita income of $3,000 per person, all of a sudden has a contiguous land border with Saudi Arabia. Syria has a new contiguous land border with Saudi Arabia. And we're not even, for this argument, we're keeping Iran and Iraq out of the picture. If you put Iran and Iraq in the picture, it becomes even more important. Israel becomes even more important. But let's, for the moment, keep them out. So what you realize very rapidly is Saudi Arabia would be absolutely destabilized if Israel were to be destroyed. So the question you should ask yourself, now that you actually see the maps, is say, wait a sec, I thought if Israel weren't there, we would have more stability. I thought we'd have lower gas prices. In fact, once you parse through these maps and think about it, without Israel, Saudi Arabia is anybody's game, and in fact, there will be higher instability. There will be greater instability. There will be higher gas prices. Because remember, Egypt is in control of the Suez Canal and has the Arabs' strongest army, conventional army. So basically, Israel is not the cause of instability and high gas prices. It's the cause of stability and low gas prices, as based on these maps. Once again, I want to sum up our discussion of the day, and I want to explain that Israel is a strategic asset of the United States and is the protector of U.S. interests in the United States. And I want to welcome you to my website to visit and look through the graphics and print them out and go through and think it through yourself. And read and ask yourself, be critical about what you hear in the newspapers. And want to again thank you for watching MarkLangfan.com, where we make Israeli security so easy, even a caveman can understand. Thank you very much for watching, and shalom with a blessing.
Okay.
7.5.
Okay.
All right. And you'll be pointing again?
Yes.
Okay. You have speed.
Welcome everybody to MarkLangfan.com, where we make Israel's security so easy.
One more time.
Okay.
1, 2. You are.
Hello, welcome everybody to MarkLangfan.com, where we make Israeli security so easy, even a caveman can understand. Now, today I wanted to remind everybody about the threat from a Palestinian state with Katyusha rockets, chemical warheaded Katyusha rockets, and what we discussed the other day was the Eastern Theater, meaning if God forbid Israel were to be destroyed, Israel is really protecting Saudi Arabia. That is the basic idea of the Eastern Theater, and is a vital U.S. security asset. But today I want to talk about a different theater, and I call it the Western Theater. And basically what I've done is I've taken the same idea of the Eastern Theater, where I say, well, I game out what would happen to Israel, what would happen to the surroundings if Israel were to be destroyed. And this is the eastern part of Israel, or the Eastern Theater of Israel. This is the Western Theater of Israel, where this is to the lands west of Israel. So what I basically do is just show the map of the Western Theater of Israel, where Cyprus is right here. Now Cyprus, as you can see, was occupied partially by Turkey in 1974, where Turkey attacked Cyprus. And there are only 800,000 Greek Cypriots, 800,000 Christian Greek Cypriots in the south of Cyprus. So this is the theater Libya, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Israel, Cyprus, Turkey, and Greece. And it's been discovered between Cyprus and Israel a huge amount of oil and gas. So now I ask the same question that I asked in the Eastern Theater. If you have a Palestinian West Bank state that has chemical Katyusha rockets and they're able to be fired into this, the very crown jewel of Israel's population, Israel will be destroyed. And what's going to happen? More to the point, what's going to happen to Cyprus? How is Cyprus, with 800,000 Christians, going to be able to defend itself against Turkey that's got 75 million people and Egypt that's got 80 million people? Can't. So what you have is you have Cyprus, which will be surrounded by a Muslim storm and will not be able to survive. And look what then happens. If Cyprus goes, so if Israel's the first domino, Cyprus is the second domino, Rhodes and Crete are next, then what you have is Israel is in effect defending a core NATO country of Greece. So what this shows is that without Israel protecting NATO, the Muslim Caliphate will be visiting NATO. And that's the basic idea for today. And these graphics prove that Israel is not only a strategic asset to the United States, but a strategic asset to NATO by being the tip of the spear of NATO's protecting itself, meaning NATO is here. They don't want the Muslim Caliphate to be landing on the very shores. They would much prefer Israel have to be essentially the outer watchman for Europe. And that's the basic idea. So I want to welcome everyone who is watching this video, and I urge them to watch all of my videos and to go onto my website, marklangfan.com, and read all of my articles which clearly explain the information that I'm putting forward. And once again, I want to thank you for visiting marklangfan.com, where we make Israeli security so easy, even a caveman can understand. Thank you very much, and shalom with a blessing.